Because people cheat in private, so it is usually very difficult to gather evidence of adultery or to prove adultery. Now, adultery, as a matter of fact, must be proved to the satisfaction of the court before it can be liable. The burden of proving adultery, or the person the law requires to prove adultery, is that party that is ascertaining or accusing the other party of adultery. Now, adultery, within the meaning of the Matrimonial Causes Act, is a voluntary sexual intercourse between a married spouse and a third party of opposite sex. Now, this sexual intercourse does not include intercourse with same sex. If it is same sex, it falls under another arm, not adultery. It is very difficult for a partner to be caught in the act of adultery. However, the court may infer adultery from several circumstances, which are DNA test. This particular scenario is familiar to everyone, or maybe most people. Now, the Child Rights Act empowers a family court to give directive for a DNA test where the paternity or the maternity of a child is in question. What? The court has no power to compel a party to either do a blood test or a DNA test. It may, from this scenario, draw an appropriate conclusion that adultery has been committed. Another circumstance that may infer adultery by the court is where there is a suspicious circumstance. A court may infer adultery in a circumstance where the spouse is caught in a compromising position. For instance, maybe the spouse comes into the house and the room is very dark and the spouse is naked with another man. In that scenario, the court can infer from that scenario, though not a conclusive proof, that adultery has been committed. Frequent visits to hotels or night clubs. This raises a presumption of adultery, and the court may conclude that adultery has been committed. A mere allegation or proof of adultery is not a sufficient basis for the dissolution of marriage. The party must establish and prove to the court that he or she finds it intolerable to live with the spouse committing such adultery. That the spouse committed an adultery is not enough for the court to grant dissolution of marriage or divorce. The party claiming adultery must prove that he or she cannot continue to live with his or her partner because his or her partner has committed that adultery. And mind you, such proof must be subjective, not objective. What do I mean? Subjective, how that party feels, and not how the general public feels.